said, yeah, so we're on, Emmy. Okay. We're on.
That's
Sorry for that. It's our first show.
I can hear myself.
So I was going to say, when did you realize that coronavirus or COVID was actually a serious thing?
That's a good question. It happened so quickly, and it happened obviously when I was in Australia. Obviously, I'm now in England, and I was planning with a friend to go traveling around the world. Like probably the worst time you could pick to go traveling around the world, when a pandemic, national disaster breaks out. So. Yeah, and it all started happening, like, it seemed to be evolving hour by hour, right? Like, minute by minute. Every second there was a new development. And so our plan went from, okay, we're going traveling, we're starting in India, to India closing its borders to all the holiday visas, to then, okay, maybe we'll go somewhere else, like the Philippines or Colombia or somewhere like that. And then it narrowed down to, okay, no, we'll just maybe do a road trip and go around Western Australia. And then it was, no, we're going home. And that happened in the space of about
going home.
A week, I reckon. It was so quick.
I think it was actually 7 days that we were going to Indonesia, to Bali, and suddenly we were just going home.
Suddenly we were on a plane on our way back, and our life's been catapulted in another direction, but so's everyone.
Exactly.
And
exactly. So this was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, literally this was 2 weeks ago.
And what did you do? What's the first thing you thought when you knew you had to go home? What's the first thing you thought?
I think the first thing was like, suddenly when I realized that I had to get home and I needed to be there and that was the best place to be, it was the panic of, shit, how do I get home?
Yes.
Getting home and the panic of like making it happen, because obviously I had to pack up all my life in Sydney and like sell all my furniture, like move out, move my room and everything, send all my belongings, of which I've accumulated a lot over 2 years, and get myself on a plane. And shit, I don't know, it was just like, and they were cancelling flights left, right and centre. And it was like, shit, am I going to make it?
That was pretty stressful. Yeah, it was, just to say the least, stressful. Just for everyone to know, where were you living? Because I don't think everyone knows that you were in a different country. Where were you?
So 2 weeks, well, less than that, about 10 days ago, I was living in Sydney, where I've been living for the last 2 years, where you and I met.
Mm-hmm.
And now here I am in cold, freezing England.
Yeah, you're loving that. How do you feel about living home again? Because it's not only changing countries, but living with your parents.
My God. Well, that was a wake-up call and a half. Yeah, I tell you what, the first 2 mornings, waking up, I had to kind of blink and be like, where am I? Like, what's happened? I've been catapulted to the Northern Hemisphere, and suddenly waking up in the family home, like back in family life. My brother's back here as well. And I felt like I've rewound about 10 years. And like, what am I doing here? So it's been a little bit of an adjustment for sure, for everyone, not just for me.
I can imagine. Yeah.
But for my brother as well, and for my parents. So yeah, but I think a week in, 10 days in, and we're all kind of getting into our rhythm a little bit easier and working around each other.
So far, what's the best thing about it?
The best thing about being...
I'm sure there's something.
I'm supposed to say straight away family, aren't I?
Yes. If you have a heart.
It is good. No, it is nice to see family. I definitely say family because living abroad for, I've been abroad for 3 years now, and especially being in Australia, you can't see your family like instantly, or at the weekend. If you just want to go home at the weekend, you can't. So it's really nice to just have them here all the time, and I'm really enjoying their company.
What is the worst thing?
Oh,
be honest, they're not watching.
Isolation, because everyone's doing that, and that's the same. But I'm gonna say it's the adjustment back into family life. It's the, okay, now it's dinner time, or dinner time's at 8, or it's gonna be lunchtime now. This is what we're having.
You have to eat now.
No, maybe I want to eat. I want to eat when I want to eat. That sounds so ungrateful, doesn't it? God.
Yeah. But I understand you. It's really hard to go back home. Yeah, of course I do.
You lose your independence, I guess.
Yeah, you don't have any independence anymore, and this is not your plan. It's not something that you wanted to do. It's something that you had to do. And I think that's what it is. You don't have a choice anymore. Everything that you knew about life, it doesn't exist anymore.
No. And also,
yeah, and I want to talk about that, because it's like Big Brother within the family. Everybody watched Big Brother in life, and now you have a Big Brother TV show. I know everybody thinks they can do a TV reality show of their family. Well, we're doing a TV show of our life, but I guess in quarantine, do you do a lot of activities with the family together?
No, not really. We should
Not really. Somebody is asking what you're drinking.
So I'm drinking. Welcome, Vika.
Yeah, those are my friends.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm drinking. This is a mock gin and tonic. So I decided that I'm not drinking for a while in self-isolation. It's a bit of a test. And so it's tonic water with orange.
Can look for a job.
And I've got some lemon in there, and some rosemary, and lots of ice, of course. So
really
we're pretending it's a gin and tonic.
She's not drinking, everyone, and she's half vegan, so quite boring, but it's fine. I'm gonna forgive you. The other thing is, what were you doing in Sydney before all of this happened? What was your job?
Oh, I'm losing you. Well, what was I doing in Sydney, did you say?
I have you. Yeah, what was your job?
So I was working for a branding design agency, oddly enough, for alcohol brands.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I have had a lot of exposure to alcohol, let's say, and kind of was living in it day to day. So it's definitely time for a bit of a detox. But yeah, I was working in a design agency, very fast paced, but very good fun.
Has all of this changed the way that you're going to approach work in the future? Has this changed your view about your career and what you want to do? Because it seems we don't have as much freedom now, but has it changed at all?
Yeah, totally. I think it has. And I think it will for not just me, but for a lot of people. Like, I think everyone will kind of take a step back and slow their pace of life down, or I like to think that they will. I definitely will. And I think it's for sure kind of made me realize important in life and what isn't and what doesn't matter. And yeah, just slow the pace of life down a little bit and recognize that you need a bit of time out. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, it's true. So slowing down, and what business do you think you're going to get yourself involved in once you can look for a job?
Yeah, that's a good question. If there are any jobs in the future, I am good. Are you still losing me?
Face masks? Yeah, no, I can see you. It's cutting a little bit, but I can see you. Did you say face masks?
No, I was joking. I'm going to join Ralph Lauren and sew face masks for doctors.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
I actually would really like to be on the front line and helping in the hospitals, you know. My parents my dad's a doctor, my mum's a nurse, and I would, I've just noticed one of my friends just joined. Hello, Ali. I'd love to go and help out on the front line and get I don't know, just do whatever I can to help.
Yeah, that's a good one. What do you think? Do you want to do like a volunteering sort of thing, or what would you do?
Yeah, volunteering. What I signed up
at the moment
to the NHS volunteering page. So they launched that here in England a couple of days ago, and they had something like 500,000 people sign up in 24 hours or 48 hours.
Oh, wow. That's really nice.
So it's amazing. So I've done that. We'll see what happens. And
people want to help now. I think this is all like bringing people together in a way.
Totally. I think it's really bringing people together, like almost as if it was wartime and everyone's kind of uniting and banding together, doing what they can. You know, even Ralph Lauren. Yeah,
even Ralph Lauren. And what about in terms of quarantining, if that's a word? I think it's going to be entered as a verb now. What do you think England is doing right, and what do you think England is doing wrong at the moment? Measures.
Do you know what? I think our government, and I think any government, gets stick for whatever they do, but I actually think they've acted really quickly, and I'm really impressed with everything that they've done so far. Like, they're setting up this hospital from one of our, it's like an exhibition center, and pretty much in a few days they have set up, or in the process of setting up, a hospital with 4,000 beds in it. You know, just out of this,
wonderful.
Like a makeshift hospital. Out of this empty exhibition hall. And I just think it's pretty good how they've come in, and they can't be getting much sleep, let's put it that way.
Yeah. And basically, in terms of quarantine, so that's good because you're happy with what the country is doing. A lot of people have a lot to say about how quickly England or the UK responded to this. Some people are happy and some people are not really happy about it, really. But in terms of being in quarantine, what is your go-to activity at the moment? What have you found that really does it for you? Maybe it can help some other, maybe it can give some ideas to people.
Yeah. Okay. I think for me, it's not one thing specifically. Like, I'm a bit schizophrenic when it comes to activities and occupying myself. I like to do loads of different things. But I would say as a general sort of area is creativity and being creative. And so I've been doing lots of painting, drawing, cooking, embroidery, just like anything creative. It just seems to be all coming out of me at the moment. It's obviously been locked up for like 2 years, and now it's spilling out.
You have time now to be your creative self.
Exactly. And I think anyone can do that. If there's something you want to be good at, like if it's drawing, sketching, like just pick up a pencil and a piece of paper. Anyone can do it. And check out Instagram. It's got so much good inspiration, or Pinterest, or
I've also seen
books or nature, and just try.
There's like free courses online. So a lot of Ivy League universities and different universities have opened up courses that you can do for free. I was following one for learning and development and things like that.
Nice.
But you can literally learn anything right now. I think learning something, like I've been teaching English online, obviously, but things that are a little bit like self-learning. You don't have to rely on anyone. You don't have to pay money for it. I think that's quite a good idea at the moment. Just learning a language or whatever.
Totally. Language also, and because we have time, like everyone has more time at the moment, and that's all you need. It's like, honestly, you can turn it into a positive, I think, and just think we've got this golden opportunity to learn something. There's this amazing book called Bounce.
I agree.
That says you can become it's called Bounce. And basically the theory is that you can become an expert in anything with 10,000 hours of practice. I think it's 10,000. Obviously, we might
I read an article about that.
It's quite a long time, but we can surely...
Hopefully not.
...into that.
But
and yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And in terms of cooking, because I know you're pretty good on cooking, pretty good at it. What have you been cooking? Can you share a recipe that's been like super good for you?
Yesterday, I made a really yummy salsa verde, and it was delicious.
Salsa verde?
Yeah. And it was just like an accompaniment. What did I have it with? I had it with some sliced circles of aubergine that I baked in the oven, covered in paprika. It was really good, and then dolloped on top. And I.
How do you make that? How do you make that?
Really good olive oil, and then virgin olive oil, and then garlic, chopped up very finely, raw, and then capers, and then chopped up mint, basil, and flat leaf parsley, chopped up really finely. I like to put an anchovy in there as well for extra like saltiness.
Anchovy, that's really good.
Anchovy, mash it in there, and then a cap full of red wine vinegar and a bit of pepper. Yeah, that was.
I love it. You should definitely write it up so I can post it afterwards. Because it has got a lot of ingredients. You have to send it to me. I'm going to put you in the spot now. So Emily speaks fluent Spanish, everyone. She's the only English person I know with a perfect Spanish accent. I'm actually going to ask you something in Spanish. Yeah. ¿Cómo aprendiste español, Emily? ¿Cómo aprendiste español? Come on.
Pues, bueno, primero lo aprendí en la uni y luego... Pero lo que pasa es que en Inglaterra no enseñan muy bien los idiomas. O sea, todo está en inglés, todo el curso está en inglés. Entonces, cuando salí de la uni estaba, no sé, pasé quizás un par de años trabajando en Londres sin utilizar mis idiomas. Y pensé, bueno, quiero al menos mejorar mi francés y mi español. A ver, ¿dónde puedo hacer eso? Entonces, era súper como random como lo hice. Era como un día me desperté y pensé, bueno, igual me iré a Barcelona, viene verano, donde tiene playa, pues me mudo ahí y me mudé ahí. Y
Excellent.
Sí, eso es como pasó, me fui y ya. Y ahí aprendí español de verdad, ¿sabes? Es como, no puedes aprender un idioma sin vivir en el país.
I completely disagree. Estoy totalmente en desacuerdo.
Claro.
I have to say. You're killing my business. Thank you very much. You see, people, this is real. This is actually happened.
I need to add a clause on the end of that says, unless your teacher is Sofia Milano.
We have a lot of teachers here. Anyway, I do agree with you. I'm going to switch back to English. I do agree with you in the sense that it's much easier, but you can learn the language. I learned the language back home.
Oh, yeah, but having said that, I would never have learned as quickly as I did without having the foundation that I learned at uni. You know, the grammar, the conversation classes. I think I really, you underestimate how much you learn and how much actually, the verb conjugations and the sentence formation and everything you learn in uni, and then you go, and I wouldn't have been able to learn, this is not me digging myself out of a hole, by the way, and I wouldn't have been able to go and learn as quickly as I did without the foundation that you need,
But to be honest as well, the thing is that the way that we teach here English is very interactional. It's not like grammar and just do these exercises in the book. It's very much using the language. So the new theory of learning, or the one that has been in vogue for a long time, is that you learn language by using it. So all of the aims at when you're teaching is for people to use it, and interaction, and maximizing the interactions between students, which is a problem for me because I speak a lot. So in my lessons, I have to remember that it's not me who needs to practice. But yeah, that's how we teach English now. But that's good. I think you are a perfect example of someone who studied, then lived in Barcelona and speaks perfect freaking Spanish now.
But also, I think I think the way you're describing that you teach now is 100% the better way to go. And had I learned that way, I'm sure I would have been a lot better than I was before I went to Barcelona, honestly, because the way I was taught, however long ago it was just rubbish. We were taught in English.
It's not good.
And that was it. You don't learn to speak like that.
Exactly. So the way we teach English, or the world teaches English, is in a communicative sort of approach. So you use the language, and we don't speak in the mother tongue or in any tongue, because you have multicultural classes, so you can't choose a language anyway, because you have Japanese people, you have Chinese people, you have Latin Americans, so everybody speaks a different mother tongue.
So do you teach it in English?
No, we teach in English, yeah.
That's the way forward.
Completely.
Amazing.
I'm going to take it back to quarantine life. So what are 2 things that you have learned about yourself during quarantine so far? Good things, obviously, please. Positives.
Person. No. What have I learned? Okay. That there's so much I want to do, number one.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I learned. I just have all these ideas. I need to probably get a little bit better about organizing my thoughts and actually putting into practice. But, when you kind of take a step back, have some time to think, when you're out of a job, I guess, you have all this time suddenly and your brain starts whirring. And I've realized that there's so much I want to do with myself, not only during this quarantine time,
life,
but with my life in general. And it's shit, where do I start now? But quarantine is probably a good way to go about it, because now I can sit down and maybe organize myself and do some research online.
Another thing that we miss, both of us dearly, is travel. So what was or is your favorite travel destination?
My favorite travel destination, I did this amazing trip to Borneo, where I went with 2 friends who Maria Ivea.
Shout out.
From Sydney. And so Borneo is just part of Malaysia, and we saw so much wildlife. Oh my God. It was just the most amazing trip. We did riverboat cruises. We saw orangutans in the wild, so many monkeys, crocodiles. And it was a trip.
Sounds amazing.
Really different, and it was really out of my comfort zone as well, because we went to some kind of I don't know, out of your comfort zone type of places. that the girls, I'm sure, have told you about. And I think
you were not having it.
I was scared. I was honestly scared. But, you know, we made it out alive. We were safe, and we saw some amazing things and had some amazing experiences at the same time. And I think it's definitely good to get out of your comfort zone every once in a while.
That's a good one. We need to wait and see until we go to Bali again, but I don't think that's going to be outside of our comfort zone. I think that's going to be pretty easy. Going to Bali, God, so difficult. By the way, Emily and I, we're going to Bali right now. Now.
As soon as the airlines start running again, we're off.
Yeah, we're leaving. I'm going to ask you 2 more questions. One is, I've been asking this to all of my friends, and what is the best piece of advice you were given in your life? That you remember, obviously. Because, well, if it's good, you remember it.
I used to start writing these down, actually. I need to start doing that again. One thing that I think is kind of a general concept that has really stuck with me, and I think everyone should remind themselves of, is that, not to take life too seriously and not to sweat the small stuff. Because someone said to me the other day, well, a while ago, and it really stuck with me, is that everyone is bullshitting. Like, everyone is bullshitting their way along in life, and no one knows what the fuck they're doing, and they're all just making it up as they go along. And so don't take life too seriously, because everyone's just here for the ride, and, you know, no one knows what they're doing. So chill the fuck out.
That's good. Everybody's improvising, basically.
Exactly. Was I supposed to give you 2?
Everybody's hustling. No, that's fine, because my other question is going to put you in the spot again, and I told you I was going to ask you anyway, so I'm not being a dick here. And that is, you've lived in Spain, the UK, and Sydney, Australia. So what is the main difference when dating in all of these places? Dating, going on dates, meeting people, meeting boys or girls, whatever. In this case, boys. What is the main difference, please? Thank you.
Okay, well, that is something I can talk to you about, because it's something I have a lot of experience of.
You do, my darling, you do.
I have a rich experience. Well, I actually haven't dated an English guy now for years. Like, it's been... I would say, on the whole, in England, it's more kind of how you imagine it in films that it's supposed to be. You know, you kind of date, you go out for nice dinners, and
like a proper date.
Yeah, and you kind of do it a little bit more by the book. And then in Spain, I pretty much had a boyfriend for the whole time I was there, so I can't really talk to you
actually
a lot about
did. Well, but you know how it was. How was it in comparison?
Well, I mean, I guess everyone a lot of people use the apps, I suppose. I don't know, because I wasn't really
apps. Yeah, apps are a thing.
But they ruin life now. Like, in Sydney,
apps are shit.
In Sydney, it was worse for the apps, because everyone uses them and people are just like totally disposable. And
we've spoken about this at length.
Yeah. And also, when you date in Sydney, you kind of have to know if it kind of makes you think about shit. Am I going to fall in love with this Australian guy? Am I going to have to marry him and then be stuck on the other side of the world forever?
That is true. That happens.
Or am I just going to date this traveller who's going to leave in 5 minutes, and that's going to be that, and then on to the next one?
Yeah, but that's true. Well, my friend is just asking, do you think that buy the book is because you're from England? She's basically saying, do you think that dating in England is buy the book because you're English?
Or maybe,
it's
kind of
politeness.
But that's what you see in films, right? Even American films, any films.
Americans are pretty much like that.
The romanticized version.
Yeah, I think in Australia is similar, but the difference is that the apps are just like taking over everywhere, even in England or whatever. Yeah, or I don't know. In Argentina, I haven't been there.
You know what your next side business should be?
What should I do?
A quarantine dating site.
Well, we have thought about it, haven't we?
Video quarantine dating.
Video quarantine, and you just like have a drink and you just talk about life, which is what the first date is anyway, isn't it?
Speed dating in the quarantine era.
Speed dating. I think we should do it. People would actually tune in because a lot of people are alone.
Yeah, you can get dressed up. You can put makeup on, like dress up nicely, sit down with a glass of wine. I think it would go great.
Yeah, I literally had a shower for you.
I love it.
I did.
I love how you've got your sunnies as well and nice earrings on.
Well, but you can see that I'm videoing myself, so I don't really care. Because I do have another question. It's quite a topic for everyone. It's not light as dating, but I guess we can go through it, which is anxiety and how to handle anxiety during freaking quarantine times. Because already we were stressed and anxious. Now we don't have anything to do, but we're also anxious. So
you know
what is the medicine?
I think it's a really hard one because I think with quarantine, you're just stuck at home, you know, with no social interaction or very little social interaction. And what do you do to kind of occupy your mind? I think the first thing is don't watch the news too much. Like, obviously, update yourself on the headlines, but it's fucking incessant. And you cannot just, like, obsess over it. Just leave it alone. Like, get the details and then put it down. Turn it off.
Move on. Yeah.
Move on.
Agreed.
Get on with your day. And then second thing is structure. Keep some structure to your day because otherwise I think we're going to go mad. So if you're allowed, like in England, like we are, to get out for one outing a day, get out for your outing. Like, do your run, like do your cycle, do your walk, whatever it is. Get out for it and then do.
We can't do it, but we can work out. We can work out at home.
Home workout, like tune into your live podcast, like I don't know, whatever it is, your live workout, or play your YouTube workout, whatever it is.
Exactly.
And do that, and then make your lunch, do your activity, cross things off your list, write a to-do list, keep some structure.
That's good. So that is sort of your life hack, or had you thought about something else? Your biggest life hack for the quarantine life?
I'm going back to creativity again for that, I reckon.
Creativity, yeah.
My hack, because I think it's such a good way to enjoy yourself, stimulate your brain, and learn something, like get good at something at the moment. Hey, we've got so much time, we might as well.
Yeah, it could be music, it could be painting, it could be writing. You know, that story that you always wanted to write? That's me, for example, or you painting, or people who are actually good at instruments, writing a song.
Imagine how many books are going to come out of this quarantine period.
I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to read them all.
People are going to come out having written books, like be authors, like be professional painters, professional chefs. It's going to be
songs. Brilliant. Imagine all the musicians. I've been watching their lives. They're all playing music. They're all like being creative. I think it's going to be quite big. It's going to be a lot of albums, like home albums.
Exactly. I think there's going to be a definite before and after COVID, whether that's positive or negative. We'll see.
Well, that's good. I guess I was wondering if you had any questions for me. I don't want to take all of your time. Do you have any questions for me?
What shall I have for dinner?
Is that your question for me?
That was the first thing that came to mind. That was the first thing that came to mind.
That's great.
I'm vegan-ish. Wait, let me think of a proper question for you.
I can give you an answer in the meanwhile. I think you should have a big, amazing pasta salad. So just like fresh tomatoes, maybe some cheese. It could be any cheese. Feta cheese is always good. And some nuts. You would love that. That's so you. I'm not thinking for me. I would starve.
Gonna do it. You need to kind of look up definition of vegan maybe after this. But,
oh shit! It's true, pasta. But you're not vegan, are you?
No, not the pasta. Feta.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, I can't be vegan. Sorry, I don't care. Vegan doesn't make sense to me. Sorry, vegans. I respect you, but I can't do it.
I'm going to do this. Cool. Well, I'll send you a picture of that later when I make it without the feta.
Please do. Please do.
Otherwise, my question for you to finish off with is, do you think, have you enjoyed this? And do you think you're going to keep this going throughout the quarantine period? And where do you see it going?
My little videos here. Yeah. I think I'm going to enjoy it myself. I don't think a lot of people are going to watch it. But I think it's good content. If I'm thinking about education, I think it's good content for people who are learning English, because this is real English. This is how people talk to their friends. And these are the kind of questions that I would ask a friend like you, which I have already. So I think it would be really good content for a class. If you're teaching a class and you want to sort of take notes of expressions that people use and questions and answers and how to interact and small talk, if you're going to a party, I think it would be really great content for that, if it doesn't generate any interest in like normal real life, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, totally. Amazing. Can't wait for the next one.
Thank you for tuning in, and thank you everyone for bearing with us, because our sound quality was shit. But general culture, as my friend is saying, general culture, and this is great. Next time we're gonna have headphones from the get-go.
Awesome. Well, now I'm gonna go and make my non-vegan pasta.
Oh, shut up, you silly twat.
Thank you, I'll talk to you.
Yeah, put it in the dictionary. Don't use it at home. But thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you Em for doing this.
Pleasure.
And we are going to see who's going to join in tomorrow. If you want to come back to the show, you're more than welcome. And if you want to interview someone and post, you can do it as well.
Awesome. Bye.
Thank you, Em. Take care. Bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye.